Hello, in this video we're going to work on some basic HTML techniques to create different shapes and add style elements to those shapes. And in this particular video we're going to focus on using what's called an inline style, which means that we're styling or adding different elements like color or box shadow or different things like that. We're styling those directly in the code that creates the shape itself. So right now we're just going to make one square. If we see right here we've got all these different squares. We're just going to make one. We'll just make one maroon square. So let's hop over to our code editor and get that coded out. Now for this one, I'm going to use JSBin. There's different code editors that you can use, but I like JSBin because the output is going to show up basically in real time as I code. And also when I start JSBin, the first thing that I do, because I use it quite a bit, is I make sure that I have the correct windows open. And this time I don't need JavaScript or CSS open, just the HTML. And I go ahead and go to File and New, and that resets everything and it gives me a brand new starter template. So now all I have to do is type something into this body. So again, we're just going to make one square. We're going to make one 100 pixel by 100 pixel maroon square. Now the square that I'm going to make is an element called a div. A div, of course, is just a division of an HTML page. It's a division of a body of the page, though you can definitely have a div that has different divs inside of it. But right now we're just going to make one div. So we're going to start that by doing the open div tag, which is just the little tick mark, and then div, and then the closing tick mark. And then I'm going to actually go ahead and do the closing tag as well. I kind of like to do the closing tag because almost all tags require an open and a close. And sometimes you'll type a bunch of stuff and you'll forget to create the closing tag, and then things will get messed up. So I usually do one, then the other, and then I type in between them, and that way everything is going to be in a div that has an open and a close. So what we're doing in this one, though, is we're not actually going to add anything inside this div, like text or anything. We're going to add style to the div. And where we do that is within the open tag. So where it says the tick mark div, we're going to go right after the V, but inside of this little element. And we're going to make a space, and we're going to type the word style, S-T-Y-L-E, and then an equal sign, and then we're going to do some parentheses. Or some quotations, rather. And luckily, in this editor, the quotations, once you do one, it makes the other. So everything I type here is going to be within these quotations. So first, we're going to set the background color of this div. And so all we have to do is type in BACKGRUND, background, dash color. That's how it's done in HTML. And then we're going to do a colon, and then we're going to define the color, which in this case, we're going to make it maroon, M-A-R-O-O-N. And then we do a semicolon. So that is one style element, the background color. And all style elements have the same syntax, or the same way that they're made. So we have like what the style element is, which is background color. That's always followed by a colon. Then that's always followed by what we're actually doing, what we're making it into. In this case, it's maroon color. And then we end that style element with a semicolon. It's always done that way no matter what. So once I've got that done, then I'm going to do let's go with the width. So the width, I think I said 100 pixels. So width, colon, 100 px, then a semicolon. And then we'll do the height, H-E-I-G-H-T, colon, 100 pixels. And there we go. And on your screen, you probably are going to see the actual shape show up. There's one other piece of this element that we're going to add, and that's a box shadow. So I'm going to zoom out of this code just a little bit to give us room, but the box shadow makes it kind of appear that it's floating above the screen. So let's go ahead and zoom out really quick. We're going to get that done, and then our maroon square is going to look perfect on our screen. Okay, so how I do this is I continue on. I'm going to go right after the last semicolon, and then make a little space, and I'm going to type box dash shadow, box shadow, then a colon, and then here it gets a little bit wonky because we're defining like the width and the height and the color and all of these different elements within this one attribute. So we're defining the box shadow. So we're going to type this 4px, then a space, then 4px, then a space, then 10px, and that defines like the shape of it, and right now the color is going to be a dark black. And if you look on your screen, you're going to see that your box shadow is made, and it's very, very dark, probably darker than we want it to be. And that's why we're going to continue on and add some color components, especially the opacity level. So what we're going to type is this. We're going to do a space after the pixels, so px space, and then the letters RGBA. That stands for red, green, blue, and then the A, believe it or not, stands for opacity. And then we're going to do a parentheses, because we're now making what's called a tuple. So we're going to type the number 0, 0, 0. And in RGB, red, green, blue talk, if you mix all of those up together with 0, 0, 0, you get black. And so that makes the black color. But we're going to add one more comma after that last 0, and we're going to type in 0.3. And what that does is that makes the black color 30% opaque. So it's basically mostly see-through. And then we're going to, we already have the close parentheses, and we just have to do a semicolon, and now we have one perfectly done square. So if you got this square done and it looks good, then you got this part of the video completed. Good job.